Hey Body Geeks, in today's deep dive with the Magic Circle for March Madness, we're going to do a couple of preparatory exercises that will help you with things on your belly. Come to your mat with your Magic Circle and place the circle standing vertically and put your toes on the bottom part of the ring to hold it in place. Have your knees bent enough so that when you roll down, you're able to put your ankles up on top of the ring, keeping the ring vertical. Take some time to set that up for yourself. And once you're in the right spot, squeeze your heels together and go ahead and press down onto the ring in the center, and then readjust your pelvis if you need to so that you're in line with the center of the ring. Then lie down with your arms next to you on the mat and inhale and raise your arms way over your head for a big stretch on your sides. As you lift up into your 100 position, lift the weight of your legs up off the roller, but keep the roller in the ring in place. Take a deep breath in and then pump your arms. Exhale. Inhale. Now the ring is going to bounce a little bit because you're keeping your legs in contact, but you want to keep lifting and lengthening your legs away so that the roller bounces as little as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. And since I keep saying roller, I'll just say you could also do this with a roller if you didn't have a magic circle. 5 more breaths. 4, 5. And then finish by letting your legs go heavy on the ring and let your upper body come back down and reach your arms over your head. Once you're reaching over your head, release the pressure on the ring and feel how much that your center has to work to get your legs to lift without letting your back arch. Let's do that a few times. Let the legs fall heavy. Take a breath in. Lengthen your upper body away from your lower body and use that length to lift your legs. Just enough so that the ring is its original shape. Let them fall back down. We're going to do that 2 more times. Then place one foot on the bottom of the ring. Once you've got a hold of it, place the other foot on the bottom of the ring. Inhale and lift your upper body. Look for the ring. Squeeze your legs together. Exhale, finish coming all the way up, keeping the ring in place. Take the ring and hold it in your hands for your roll-up, and just leave your feet right in place. Widen out your elbows and your chest by squeezing your fingers around the roller and widening your elbows. On your breath in, roll back halfway until your low back is on the mat. On your exhale, squeeze your inner thighs and squeeze the ring and finish rolling all the way down. Release the ring and pull. Inhale, lift your upper body. Exhale, squeeze the ring and finish the roll up. Inhale, pull the ring, go halfway down. Exhale, squeeze the ring and finish the roll down. Inhale, pull the ring apart, lift your upper body. Exhale, squeeze your inner thighs like the ring and go forward. Last time with our knees bent, inhale, go halfway down, pull the ring apart, widen your chest. Exhale, squeeze the ring and finish your roll down. This time the ring goes over your head and you straighten your legs, squeezing them together. Same idea, inhale, lift your upper body, pulling the ring wide. On your exhale, squeeze the ring, squeeze your legs and make yourself all the way up. Inhale, go halfway back down as you pull the ring apart. And then exhale, finish the roll down, squeezing the ring. One more time. Inhale, lift your upper body, pull the ring. Exhale, lengthen your legs and squeeze the ring as you come back up. Inhale to go halfway down. Exhale, squeeze the ring and finish your roll down. Draw your knees into your chest and hold the ring in between your ankles. If you've got handles, you can hold on to them. If not, bring your arms down by your sides. With your legs in the air in parallel, squeeze the ring and hold it. Keep your feet in line with your legs so that the big toes are not coming in to squeeze the ring, nor are the pinky toes pressing out. Just one long line, thigh, lower leg, foot. On your inhale, lift your seat over your head, squeeze the ring and roll down. Drop the legs just to 45. Inhale, lift the seat, squeeze the ring, exhale, lower down. And we'll do that 5 times. And if you're just now working on lifting your pelvis up off the floor, you're welcome to just take this little hip hike here with your legs in the tabletop position. One more, whichever variation you're working on of the rollover. And then grab your ring in your hands, squeeze it with both fingers, hold the ring over your head like a halo, extend one leg out and one leg up. Circle the leg for 5. And reverse. Just like you did with your legs on top of the ring, keep reaching your body in 2 directions to keep your pelvis in place and just moving the leg bone. Scissor your legs to switch, flexing the bottom foot, press that heel into the mat. Lengthen the front of your hip and your pelvis so that your tailbone is clearly on the mat, and then circle this leg around. If you can't quite get this leg straight in the air, bend it into tabletop and just work on moving in the leg in the socket. And reverse. So no movement in the pelvis today. You're just working on extending what's on the mat in 2 directions. Last 2. And then with both legs down on the mat, squeeze your legs together again. Let's repeat our roll up. Pull the ring apart. Inhale, lift your upper body. Keep your back and your arms connected as you squeeze the ring and squeeze your legs and reach your legs away from you to roll all the way up. Today you're going to stand on the roller, on the ring for your rolling like a ball. Feet on the bottom, hands on the top. Squeeze your heels in close. Arms pressing into the legs slightly, legs pressing out into the arms. Pull your trunk away from what you're sitting on. Squeeze your heels together. Inhale as you rock back. Exhale to come back up. Inhale to rock. Exhale to come back up. And last time. Then extend your legs forward, hold the ring in your hands again. Reach the ring forward and then roll all the way down into your single leg stretch position, holding the ring just over your shins. We'll go for 5 sets. And you can choose whether you're pulling the ring apart or squeezing it together. You can also do a combination of both pulling and pushing. I'm just using it to hold the frame of my upper body. Double leg stretching, ring goes to your shins, but tail goes to the floor. Let's put the feet in V today so that as you extend your legs, they're externally rotated, and then exhale, pull them back in. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull them back. Last one for the double leg stretch. And then put your head down, twitch your toes in the ring, and then just rock yourself up to seated as if it was a rolling like a ball. Extend your legs long with your heels on the mat and your ankles flexed. Then reach the ring in front of you today with that wide elbow position. On your inhale, widen the ring and sit tall. On your exhale, squeeze the ring and go forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, squeeze. Two more spine stretches, continuing to sit on your seat. Then we're going to go right back down onto the mat today, and you're going to use the ring to help pull the flesh of your belly away from your pelvis. So if you look at your pelvis and find the 2 sticky outymost hip bones right here, you're going to place the pad of the ring just above that at a diagonal. Where your underline underwear line would be, this is how the pelvis kind of shapes itself down into the pubic bone. So what I'm looking for is that you can put the ring right on that flesh above the bone of the pelvis. So you might have to, this is going to be different for everyone, considering the widths of the pelvis are different. So take a moment to find that spot for yourself and then press down into the ring. For me, that's going to look something like this. And your knees are going to be bent. Once you feel like you've got the right spot where you're definitely on some flesh and not on some bone, put your hands in a place where you can give a little pressure down into the ring. Both knees are bent and your feet are flat. Once you got the pressure on the ring, whatever side the ring is on, slowly extend that leg forward and then pull it back. At the very end of that leg extension, what you're going to feel is the ASIS bone, the sticky outy bone of the pelvis, try to pull away from that flesh, and you're going to feel a little bit of a tightening, a tautness of that flesh. Try a couple more on this side. Feel free to adjust the ring at any point if you don't quite feel like you can discover what I'm talking about. And then switch it to the other side. So above the ASIS bone, kind of a diagonal position of the pad of the ring to your pelvis. Enough pressure so that when you fully extend your leg, you feel the sense that the ASIS bone is moving away from the flesh, and the flesh that you've got under the ring is being pushed up toward your face. Let's try that a few more times on this side. So you're just trying to get a sense of the separation of the contents and the flesh of the bowl of the pelvis away from its frame or the bones. 2 more times. Now we're going to switch right to your tummy for the swan, the single, and the double leg kick. Once you're on your belly, put the ring out in front of you and just leave it there for a moment so you can focus on the space we just made. Take the heel of your hand and put it on your thigh below the ASIS bone. Do that on both sides. Then put your forehead down on the mat and squeeze your legs together, pushing the tops of your feet down into the floor. On your inhale, take a deep breath into your low back, and on your exhale, pull your pubic bone up toward your face, and you'll feel the flesh of your thighs coming down into your palms. Release it, and you'll probably feel your ASIS bone sticking into your wrists a little bit more. Then again, deep breath into your back. Exhale, pull your pubic bone a little bit more toward your face, sending your tailbone toward your heels. Your thigh flesh will come into your hands, and your ASIS bones will lift off your wrists. Let's try that a few more times. You can also feel free to separate your legs if you feel like you can't get enough movement in your pelvis to see what I'm talking about. Try 2 more times. Then make a pillow with one hand and reach back and grab the same side ankle with your hand. Thinking of that same space between the flesh and the contents of the pelvis and the ASIS bone and below, squeeze your heel in toward your bottom 3 times. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Switch your sides and do the exact same thing. Squeeze, release. You keep repeating this. I'm going to face the camera while you keep working. And every time you squeeze and release that ankle in toward your heel, you're going to think of reaching the thigh flesh down away from the ASIS bone and pulling the flesh of your belly up away from that point. So if these two were the hubs away from which you could two-way stretch, that's what we're looking for in the belly exercises, so that your pelvis stays mostly in a neutral position away from which your spine can stretch. Finish out whatever side that you're working on with your squeeze and release, and then put your forehead on the floor with your hands right beside you. Now bring your legs all the way together if that's comfortable for you. Press the tops of your feet into the mat, and then give me that feeling of pulling your tailbone down toward your heels, your pubic bone up toward your face, and the length between the two spaces that we were just talking about, above and below the ASIS bones. Keep that length in the front of your pelvis, and on your inhale, pull your upper body forward away from that lengthened anchor, and then exhale, lower back down. The height is totally up to you. Let's do 4 more. So whatever's going on with this swan for you today in your upper body, see if you can focus on keeping that same length across the front of the pelvis without shoving the ASIS bone forward. Remember, we're looking for two-way stretch away from this hub, not pressing this hub forward in space. 2 more times. And then in one smooth move, push yourself into a child's pose, pushing your hands into the mat and sending your hips toward your heels. Then come back onto your forearms for the single leg kick, which is today's exercise of honor. Place the heel of the hand in the center of the ring, then move your elbows in a little bit closer so that with your whole arm you can feel yourself squeezing. Feel down for that same hub, the two-way stretch away from your ASIS bone. Lengthen your chest forward by pulling with your forearms, and then lift one leg in the air, a little off the floor, put it back down. As you lift and lower each leg, imagine that moment where you were lengthening your leg out and using the ring to pull your belly flesh away from your ASIS bone. Now leave one leg in the air and kick your heel in toward your bottom. Slowly squeeze, release. Squeeze, release. Put that leg down and lift the other leg slightly. Same thing. Squeeze, release. Still trying to make space in your two-way stretch. Other side. Squeeze, release. And one more on the second side. And then we're going to pick up the pace so that this looks a little bit more like our single leg kick. Squeezing in on the ring, pulling yourself forward, and opening the space above and below your ASIS hub for the kick. For me, the single leg kick feels like a huge stretch from my kneecap all the way up to my throat, but it didn't always feel that way until I found the ability to pull my pelvis away from my legs and my legs away from my pelvis. Just one more single leg kick set, and then you're going to slide the ring forward, put your head on the mat, put your hands right beside your chest, squeeze your legs together, and then from the length that we just talked about, pull your belly in, push yourself up, and sit back into child's pose. Now we're going to use that length in the side kick. Once you're on your side, separate your legs so you have a little bit of support to balance, and then place the ring in the same place on your pelvis on the top side, above the ASIS and a little bit in the flesh of the pelvis. Depending on the length of your arm, you may have to bend your elbow to get a little bit of a push into the ring. I have a short torso, so if you have a longer torso and you need to keep your arm long to get this pressure, go for it. It's really just the feeling of having the flesh of the belly pulled up by the ring, making contact with it. Then press the bottom leg into the ground and lift the top leg up. Keep the feeling of the belly flesh pulling away from your ASIS hub and lengthen your leg forward into your kick. When you lengthen it back, same feeling, the hub stays in place, the leg moves behind you. And you may not be able to bring your leg as far forward as you're used to. That's really not the point of today's exercise. When that leg goes behind you, lift it a little bit higher in the air, trying to feel for that two-way stretch away from your hub. 2 more times on this side. Now hold that leg behind you and keep pressing into the ring to pull your belly flesh up toward your face. For those of us that have an anterior pelvic tilt, this is going to be a lot of work in the back of the thigh where the thigh meets the buns. Then just circle that leg behind you 5 times, trying to move from your leg in the socket and not from the hub of your pelvis. And then when you're ready, we'll switch sides. Same thing, starting from the top. Once you're all the way down on your arm, move the legs just slightly in front of you. Separate the legs just for a moment so you can get the balance. Find the place above the ASIS bone where you can place the ring in your belly flesh. Then give the ring a little bit of a push and aim for your belly button. So it's not a straight up ring up and down. You're getting a little lift in the wall of the belly. Then when you're ready, press down into the bottom leg and lift the top leg at least the height of your greater trochanter here, the top of the side of the pelvis. Then swing your leg forward as far as it'll go without interfering with your ring. And as you take it back, see if you can feel that stretching, that tautness between the ASIS and the belly flesh. A couple more times. When you take it behind you, there is going to be a little bit of a lift back there. Lift, lift, lift. So you're just going slow enough that you can feel that gradual tightening of the sheet of fascia that kind of pours into and over this hub. And then leave that leg behind you, give it some circles. And reverse. And come up to seated when you're ready. Roll back onto your seat again. Put the ring in between your inner thighs this time. One more way to feel that two-way stretch. Squeeze your legs together, reach your arms forward, and roll all the way down onto your mat. Scoot your feet in close enough for a bridge, and using your hands this time, feel for that same place that you were just using with the ring, above the ASIS bone and on a diagonal, kind of in line with your underwear line. Once you got your fingers right on that flesh, squeeze the ring, and then roll up into your bridge by reaching your thighs away from your hub here. Once you're in the air, pause for a second, but don't go all the way up to your full height just yet. Using the pads of your fingers, gently pull that flesh toward your face, but send the hub, the ASIS bone of your pelvis, more toward your kneecaps. Do that for a couple breaths. And then put your arms down by your sides and still thinking about that two-way stretch away from the hub, squeeze and release the ring. What I also love about this whole setup of exercises is that it's intended to take pressure out of the lumbar spine and the sacroiliac joint. So how can we find a little more space on the front of the body in order to work the back of the body? Squeeze the ring in and then roll all the way down, stretching open that space above and below the ASIS bone. And then once your tail is all the way on the mat, you're going to grab your ring in your hands, extend your legs forward all the way or slightly bent. Reach the ring into the air, and then thinking about this, keeping this space, roll all the way up to seated. Still thinking of keeping that space, let's repeat the rolling like a ball two-way stretch away from your ASIS bone. Deep breath in. Oh, that's so much better for me today. 2 more. And then when you're ready, come to your knees with your ring by your side. Just to reinforce that idea of instead of shoving the bone forward to get your pelvis to open in the front, that we're two-way stretching, thigh flesh away from belly flesh, right over that little hub of the ASIS bone. So on your knees here and about a shoulder or hip width distance apart, place the ring about 6 to 8 inches away from you, and then place the heel of your hand in the center with your palm facing forward. Reach up toward the ceiling with your opposite hand. We're kind of simulating a chair side bend here. And as you lift your trunk away from your pelvis and you think about that length, the ring is going to press down. And then bring yourself back up. Inhale to reach. Exhale to return. Two more times. Reaching your kneecaps into the floor, pulling your belly flesh where the magic circle was away from your ASIS bone. And then switch to the other side. You want the ring to be close enough to you that you don't have to lean over to set yourself up. You might think back to the bridge that we just did where you were reaching your ASIS bones toward your kneecaps. Anything to find a little bit more space there rather than pushing the bones forward into the flesh. And then bring your ring over your head like a halo. Same idea, stay long in your front. This time squeeze your inner thighs toward one another if you weren't already. Inhale to side bend to the right. Exhale to come back up. Last 2. And then put the ring down by your side, set your seat back, take a little counter stretch with your forehead on the mat and your hips pushing toward your heels. Take a deep breath into your low back, and then exhale, round yourself up to seated. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you tomorrow for our next deep dive with the Magic Circle.